Epilogue. Again, I want to thank you, the reader, for taking the time to follow my story. I need to tell you that though what I have written is absolutely true, there are parts where I had to use artistic license. In some of the chapters concerning Stryker, for example, I knew the main facts from the newspaper articles and attending the court trial, but of course I didn't know exactly how Stryker felt or what he had said behind those closed doors. I also didn't know some of the things that may have been thought or said in secret by the other characters in my story. These I had to fill in with my imagination. As people have read my story over the years, they have asked me what happened to some of the people I wrote about. In chapter 31, I shared how the lives of some of the main players turned out, but not in any detail. I'll give you a little more detail now. Stryker was murdered in September of 1990. But this crime wasn't discovered, it wasn't made public or tried until January of 1994. From what I had last heard, in early 2018, my old friend was released on day parole from his life sentence, and after that slowly entered back into society after spending almost 25 years of his life behind bars. I pray for him often that he too will meet the Savior who receives, forgives, and changes sinners. One of the enforcers who helped abduct Stryker was also an old associate of mine, an old workout partner during my early 20s. He and the other enforcer, whom I did not know, testified against their boss, my old friend, and in return for their testimonies were given government-issued identities, and after the trial disappeared into witness protection. My associate's life sadly continued to spiral downward. Apparently, not having learned the lesson from our close call, he repeated some of the same mistakes. Finally, he owed a large sum of money to a violent gang, so instead of allowing himself to be caught, tortured, and killed, he took his own life in the early 1990s. Another tragedy of a wasted life. Lastly, the young man who came into the clinic with the sharp dagger was called Scott. I hope you realize by now that I was speaking metaphorically. He came with the sharp words from God that cut deep into my soul. I'm not sure where Scott is today. I have no doubt that he is somewhere serving God by reaching out to others as he did to me. But the small window of time that he was in my life changed the course of my whole existence, here and now, and the trajectory of my life into eternity. I'll be eternally grateful to God for sending him into my life with the greatest news ever told. My prayer for you, the reader, is that you too will hunger and thirst and pursue and seek the Savior. He is worthy, and he will change your life forever. God bless you.